I was at an event the other day and a guy called Jake asked me a question, and Jake said, what do you do if you go blank in the middle of a speech? And I thought that's a very good question. So here is my answer. What you do, well, actually, let's start with what you don't do. So if you go blank in the middle of your speech and you absolutely can't remember what you're supposed to say, do not, and I repeat, do not go back to the beginning and start again. Because this is what will happen. You will get to exactly the same point in the speech and you will go blank again. And you could keep doing this for a while and the audience aren't going to like it. So if you go blank and you really can't remember what to say whilst you're speaking, remain calm. Yeah, all right, I get that. That's the biggest piece of non-advice ever, of course. Remain calm, easier said than done, isn't it? So here's two things that you might want to try if you find yourself in that situation. Ideally, walk to the side of the stage where you have a glass of water, take a big, long drink, and hope it comes back to you. If you haven't got a glass of water, walk over to the other side of your stage, pick up your notes, have a look at them, find your place, carry on. So that's what to do if you do go blank on stage. But really, the question should be, how do you avoid going blank on stage? Because it's so much better not to do it than to have a really developed coping strategy. So here are my 3 tips for making sure that you don't forget what you're saying in the middle of your speech. So number 1, don't worry about the words. Yes, don't worry about what you say, just keep speaking. No, don't worry about the words. Don't worry about saying it in a specific way. Worry about what you're trying to say. Worry about what your message is, what kind of emotion you're trying to convey. Worry about the theme. Worry about the big picture. Don't worry about the individual words. Because if you worry about the individual words, you get hung up on the individual words, and then when you forget them, it all falls apart. So first and foremost, when you're creating a speech, think about the theme, think about the message, think about the emotion. Don't think about the individual words. Don't get hung up on them. Secondly, talk about what you know. If you're talking about a subject that you know well, you aren't going to run out of things to say. In fact, you might have the opposite problem. You might go on a bit too much. But that's the point. Always speak about stuff you know, and then you're always on familiar ground. You're not going to dry up, and you're not going to completely forget what you're talking about. And finally, be conversational. Don't try and make it sound like a lecture. Don't try and make it sound complicated. Try and make it sound like a conversation. Because I'm guessing you don't go blank in the middle of conversations. You don't forget what you were saying when you're just chatting to your friends over dinner. So keep it conversational. Don't get obsessed with the words, just, try and have a conversation with people. So when you're planning your speech, don't write it out like a big long essay, because you will struggle to remember the exact order of an essay, and you'll struggle to remember the way you've written it because you don't speak the way you write. So just make a few notes and try and make it conversational. Try and make it more relaxed. It'll be a better speech in the long run, and you definitely won't run out of things to say or lose your point. So, in answer to your question, Jake, the best way to deal with going blank on stage is to not go blank on stage. The best way to do that is don't get hung up on the individual words you're saying, speak about stuff you know, and try and be conversational. So if you've got any questions you'd like me to answer, whether they're on public speaking or anything else, I'm happy to do it. There's a little box. Put your name and your question in there and I'll try and answer them for you. My name's Duncan Baskerand Brown. I'm the Civic Coach. Thank you very much.